position?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to. I don't think he'll have to, but.
Well, there's going to be some motherfucker out there going, we want your resignation. We want it now.
And there are people calling for that.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them all in the ass. You said you wanted to talk gay shit. There you go.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer Jones.
Hell, we have JJ in the house.
Jennifer Jones signs
Dynamite!
on and she hears, fuck them all.
No, she heard fuck them in the ass is what she heard.
That's right. That's what she heard.
Oh,
man.
Lord have mercy.
Bomb. Happy Friday.
I'm going to have to turn you up. I can barely hear you. Where the fuck's my volume? There we go.
Actually,
hey, Mama Bear.
Today's
Kelly.
like my Sunday. I go back to work tomorrow.
Jessica. There's Paul. Hi, Paul.
How do,
Chrissy.
everyone? Chrissy, Jessica. I'm here for the party. He's here for the party.
Well, hey, when I'm here, it's always a fucking party. Just remember, the party don't start till I walk in. Who said that?
Vanessa?
No. Someone a little more famous.
I think she did say that, though.
No, she said she's always the party. Kesha. The singer Kesha.
I have no idea who that is.
Of course you don't. You don't get out much. That's all right. Stick with me. I'll get you some culture.
Welcome back, Paul.
Bean.
Nice long weekend.
Bean. Charlene. Haven't seen you in a while.
So yesterday when you decided it was too late, I mean it was. It became kind of complicated.
Hold up, motherfucker. We were supposed to go on, and then you said, "Oh, I'm not going on. I'm waiting until 10 because I'm going on with Massimo." So, yeah, 10 o'clock is too late for my tired ass. Okay, I gotta have my beauty sleep. I just looking like that. You just can't wake up and look like this. Okay, it takes a little bit of work. Okay, so don't tell me that I said we weren't going. It was you, motherfucker. Now that we got that straightened out.
Thanks for straightening that out.
Hey, I'm 100%. I keep it real.
So, like I was saying, yesterday we had the discussion about
gay shit.
Yeah, a little bit. And Mr. Commissioner Roy de los Santos.
I like Roy. He's good people.
And we talked about a bit of scandal he caused, let's say.
Oh, where he said fuck you or fuck off or something?
Correct.
Good for him. I like Roy.
And a lot of people are up in arms, and we had this discussion last night, and had a couple. I was on at Osmo's show where we kind of touched on it, but not a whole lot. And then I went on right afterwards, and Elizabeth came to join us last night. She joined me last night.
I think I've seen Elizabeth on with us. Wasn't she on with us once?
Yep, 2 times.
Okay, I thought so. My memory's not that bad yet.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, so we had a discussion about, about the lady who spoke at the city commission. I think I showed you the videos, right?
I don't think you have.
You didn't see the lady saying like a prayer at the city commission meeting? Did you see Roy's video after that?
You played Roy's video of him saying fuck you or fuck off.
Fuck you, he said.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't see what she said to make him respond to that. It wasn't his response to her.
You should have heard what she said. It was horrible. It was violent. It was terrible.
Well, I would have told her to fuck off too, and I would have told her to go pack sand and take a big old black dildo and shove it up her
Calm
ear.
down. Stop.
Stop! I ain't done nothing yet.
Down, boy.
Down, boy. Down, boy.
Listen.
Oh,
I'm
my
here
God,
to express
it's
my area of
Methuselah.
concern.
Turn the music off. There you go.
The city of Brownsville should step away from promoting personal lifestyles and stop partnering with organizations that promote the sexualization of our children.
I agree with that.
City commissioners have supported agendas last year by the LGBTQ transgender group, raising the flag, pride flag, which is the rainbow of God. So I lift my hands to pray for you. We are praying for you. City
Where's the
commissioners
music coming from?
and our mayor. We are praying for you. In the name of Jesus, that the Lord will touch your hearts, that your hearts will not be hardened to hear his word and to change from our ways that we've adopted recently in the city of Brownsville. I pray, Father, in the mighty name of Jesus. Hallelujah!
That is all she said.
Okay, someone take the bottle from that woman. She's had obviously way too much.
That's what she said. Now, was that so horrible?
Okay, well, the music needs to go. Whoever
that came
overlaid
with the music. Somebody
overlaid the
did
music, that was a big
dramatic
mistake.
effect.
Yeah, that was a
For
big
dramatic
mistake.
effect.
Big mistake with the music. Okay, it was not that bad, but at the same point, not everybody is religious. Prayer and what she's doing there. Okay, everybody's not into that. Just because she's into that doesn't mean you need to bring it here. Okay, save that for your Sunday best. Okay, when you take off your Saturday sinners and put on your Sunday going to church meeting clothes, that's where you do it there. Okay, it doesn't belong here. Okay,
Why?
so because
this is just a public comment. They can say whatever the hell they want to say.
Okay, but you may offend some motherfuckers, just like Roy offended some motherfuckers when he said "fuck you."
Even though it's safe to say, I would say over half of the community, more than 50%, I'll say more than 60%, could consider themselves religious or Christian or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, well that's fine. That's
they
fine.
Are
but the other 40%, the other 40% are not. Just like the fucking government, we have to bend to the narrative and support and uplift the special little group of 10,000 people and 50,000 people here. We have to coddle their ass because they have gender issues. We have to coddle them. We have to kiss their fucking ass. No. I'm not in I'm a gay, but I'm not in the ass kissing business. I don't kiss your fucking ass. I know it comes out your ass. I ain't about to fucking kiss it. I may fuck it, but I ain't gonna kiss it.
Well. I gotta clear my throat after that one.
I stand behind Roy, and I say to that woman, "Fuck you too."
Now, still, see why? Why does that offend you so bad? Did that really warrant the F word?
I mean, when she,
the lady's 80 years old.
I don't fucking care how old she is. I mean, if you can't say it, you can't fucking do it. Obviously, she said it once because she's done it a couple of times in order to get some fucking kids. But I was with her there about the sexualization of children. I'm with you,
and that's her main point.
Okay, I'm with you there, and I'm kind of with you when you talk about the transgender communities because well, first of all, society has no clue what the definition of transgender is, and I got to educate some motherfuckers once again. Transgender is Caitlyn Jenner. Transgender may even be Dylan Mulcahy.
Not
But
yet.
I said may be Dylan Mulcahy. I don't know if he's actually done any
Hasn't.
augmentation to his body.
Has not.
Okay, so then he's a transvestite.
Not even doing hormones. He's doing nothing. Just
Then he's a
dressing
fucking
and living.
transvestite. Okay, transgender is Caitlyn Jenner. You've actually changed some portion of your body to be a woman. You dress up and you want to live like a woman, or you like wearing women's clothing, transvestite. You dress up as a woman for entertainment, drag queen. And then you have your how do I say this? Vacationers. You know, kind of like just in for the weekend type people. Okay. They're just in for the weekend. Okay, so they're coming over and just testing the waters and going, oh, okay, well, this is different. Maybe I'll put on a pair of women's panties and have this woman spank my ass. Call me Charlie. Okay, we have those people that are kind of like just they're the ones that really need some fucking help. You know, they're the ones that need couch time.
Vacationers, huh?
Vacationers, that's what I call them. Vacationers. You know, just in for the weekend. Those are the ones you got to watch your food stamps around.
So is that the same as like a closeted?
No, the closeted ones, they know what they like. They just don't have big enough balls to admit it.
Okay. The first time I hear the term vacationers to use like this.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. I don't know if I'm making it simple or more difficult to understand. But vacationers are just like, you know, we're gonna come over and we're gonna check it out, see if you like it. And if I do, you know, I've always said, you know, I'll try anything once, twice if I like it, 3 times just to make sure. Okay, I've always said that. So the vacationers, they're testing the waters, seeing if they like it, and then they might try it a second time. And if they go to the third time, okay, you just need to fucking go with it.
Okay.
But then you got your closet people that have done it the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, 8, the 300 times, but they just don't have the balls to admit that they like it.
So I go back again. So, okay. So you say you don't care. What he said was all right. Okay. That's one thing.
Well, okay. So I read half of his statement that he put out, and then I had to go do something, go to work or pick up some kids. I can't remember. So I'm unable to find the statement to finish reading it.
Oh, I happen to have the statement.
Oh, you happen to have. Oh, well, there you go. My pal Manny, I knew it. Oh, and you often have to pay to be spanked. Sometimes people do pay to be spanked, Kate. Some of them people love to be disciplined. And Kate, you're right. Both sides are extremely passionate. And you know, if you like something, or if you enjoy something, or if you believe something, you're going to be passionate. Just like I'm extremely passionate when I talk about certain items or certain things, and you'll hear it in my voice how passionate I am. Oh, here we go. Manny, you going to read this to me?
I read this yesterday. How much is this? How much of it did you read?
Oh, sweet Jesus. The words are so small. Let's see. They're individuals and citizens and creating narrative that speaks to. Okay, I got to the part where the lie is that efforts, and then I had to go.
The lie is that efforts in Brownsville around growing a welcoming and the lie is that efforts in Brownsville around growing a welcoming and exclusive community for all is really part of an agenda to push for pedophiles to groom children, among other variations. This is an absolute lie, he said. The video of my comments last Thursday is not the first video to be circulated with lies attached to it. And all of them are designed to stir hate in the Christian community against the gay community and will gain ground if left unchecked. The first video was created by non-citizens of Brownsville, and Liz brought up a point about this non-citizens thing, and she's right. It really doesn't matter whether they live here or they live in a different city. everybody's got their freedom of speech.
Right.
I lost where I was at. The first video was created by non-citizens of Brownsville and is clearly the product of their hate for the gay community. That is why they must resort to lies in an attempt to gain followers. They are incapable of making their case solely with truth. Bottom line, my comments were not directed at the Christian community. That's what it seemed like, really. We're not directed at citizens who simply disagree, and we're not directed at anyone simply exercising freedom of speech. My comments were clearly directed in my speech at those who are lying in an attempt to drive hate and animosity through a false claim that there is a local agenda intent on harming children in our community. To any true Christian in our community who felt that these comments were directed at you, you have my apology, as they were not. But my speech allowed this false narrative to be created. I am a Christian. I completed my sacraments in a Catholic church, founded a youth group at my church, and later went on to teach catechism locally for several years. I applaud our city for starting our meetings with prayer. I have led prayer at local groundbreaking events, coordinated prayer to kick off local events for 17 years, and I took my oath of office on a family Bible. I have respect for fellow citizens in our community and enjoy discussions over differences in politics, religion, or just personal philosophies. I am always willing to agree to disagree and greatly respect those who disagree due to their devotion to their faith and or our beliefs. See, that's what that line gets me and bothers me. That line right there. I am always willing to agree to disagree by saying fuck you. See how that doesn't jive, right? It doesn't make sense. That's the way I see it.
No, I think what he means is every side is going to agree that they're going to disagree on certain topics or points. I think that's what that means. Because you and I, we don't agree on everything.
Yep.
So we agree to disagree on it. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. We disagree, we agree on that. That's what I think he means there.
Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to ask him. The only thing I have no respect for is those who lie in an attempt to fuel hate, and I will always speak out against it.
Oh, I can stand behind that 10,000%.
Since taking office, I have always voted in the best interest of the citizens of Brownsville, whether or not they agree or disagree with me on matters, and I will always continue to do so. No vote I ever take will be about what is popular or aligned with personal beliefs, or what will get me elected in the future.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
No, I only vote based.
Okay. I'm going to go squirt a bird.
Oh, boy. Don't kill him, though, all right?
You're a bad puppy.
We're going to get Bam in a minute. He's yelling at his bird. That sounded funny. Bam's yelling at his bird. So to shut up his bird, he sprays him with a water bottle, spray bottle.
All right, Carl, where the fuck were we? All right, I'm back.
All right, finishing up. No, I only vote based on what I feel is right and wrong for our community. And I am who I am, absolutely shaped and guided by my faith in all matters. And that was his apology, I guess. Some are not buying it.
It sounds like it's a worded apology that it apologizes, but at the same time, it's a right up the ass. Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because, you know, in politics, my opinion, in politics, if you're in politics, you need to stand firm and hard on your beliefs and your convictions. Like a lot of people do. Like the fucking Democrats, for instance. They're all about killing babies a second before they're born, which is 10,000% wrong. I mean,
Yes.
they reach up in their two hands, you know, dead baby. Let's yank it out. Okay, that's 10,000% wrong. There should be a cutoff point and done deal. Where you have the Republicans, who I somewhat support, you can't kill a baby. It's a life. Okay, it's not a life until it's a living, breathing thing, in my opinion. But we're not going to get on the abortion thing because it's an extremely touchy subject with everybody. Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody's got their personal beliefs. Everybody's got their own convictions about it, which, in my opinion, should not be in politics whatsoever. Government officials, no state, no country, nobody should be able to tell another person what they can and what they can't do with their fucking body. Period. Explanation point. And discussion.
So we've had this discussion before.
Hundreds of times. But
so where would you cut off the abortion? Like after how many months or weeks, whatever you want to call it, how many weeks?
Well,
Like,
funny.
What's your limit?
Funny you should ask. Years ago, I want to say 12, 14 years ago, I don't know if you're aware, there was this exhibit traveling the country called Bodies. And they had everything in this exhibit, from a full cadaver body completely naked. Most of them were Asian males. And you could see like the outside of them completely naked. Then they had it cut in half, literally from the right up the crack of the ass up. And you could see, everything from like a half view. And then they had the whole entire nervous system, it was just like a bunch of wires spread out on a glass table. So you can see everything. And they had one display in there of a fetus from month 1 all the way up until month 9 in jars.
Yeah.
So you could see the point of where it starts having a face, and then you'll see like a nose appear, and like little eyes and like little mouth. So there's different stages in a fetus where it starts to look more like a human instead of like a little fucking bean. Sorry, bean. So I would say, and I can't remember the exact month of when it starts developing a face. I can't remember because it's been so fucking long ago. But I would say the point of before the face actually starts developing is when you can cut it off. Because it's not a person.
Even when it's this big, it's got a face on it.
Not really.
And what about the heartbeat? That doesn't matter at all, even though it's like the size of a bean, but the heart's beating.
But it's not living. It's not breathing. A different vessel is breathing.
It's like underwater, breathing water.
No, it's not. Because if we were breathing water in the womb, then why aren't we breathing water now?
It's in the placenta. That's why some babies are born. Have you ever seen those babies born underwater?
I've seen them born in a swimming pool.
Yeah, underwater, and they just swim like a fish.
Oh, they do not.
They do.
And not until that ass is slapped do they start moving.
No, dude came out and started swimming away, man. He knew what he was doing. He was like a freaking tadpole.
He was fucking stupid. He's clueless. Now I completely forgot where I was going with this whole statement that he thanks for ruining my train of thought, Manny.
I know.
Brava.
You were saying that it's a life when it's got a face. That's basically what you said.
That's when it should be cut off, when a face starts developing, because then you can actually see a person.
Okay. Before he's got a face. You don't see it. The thing could be this big. He's got a face. And when they're this big, they start kicking and stuff. You hear the mom saying, "Oh, he just kicked."
Did he really kick, or did he really kick, or did he just take a shit? Seriously.
Either one, that means he's alive. That means it's a life. If something's shitting, it's pooping, it must be alive. That means he's
No,
eating.
if it eats, it poops. He ain't eating. Food is being distributed and down into his stomach. He ain't eating it. There ain't nothing going through the mouth, down the throat, into his stomach. It's going directly into the motherfucker ain't even tasted shit yet. Well, I'm sure he's tasted shit because he's swimming in shit. He's swimming in his shit.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but obviously we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
There you go. Now, you know what that we need to agree to disagree. Now you know what that mean. What he mean by that?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say "fuck you, Bam."
Why not?
Because you're my elder, and I can't talk to you that way.
I'm your elder. That may be true. I am your elder, and I'm getting older next week.
Oh, that's
Hi,
right.
Beth.
You're just days away.
I know. I try to be extremely annoying. So, back to the gay shit, as you call it. He said, before y'all got in the room, and he just put us live. Before he put us live, I said, "What are we talking about?" He says, "Gay shit." I said, "Oh, okay, gay shit. Does that mean it's like it's covered in pink and purple glitter or what? I mean, what's opposed gay shit, straight shit? What's the difference?"
It was a continuation of yesterday's conversation. Not all of you caught it yesterday.
So why not bring the most opinionated gay motherfucker you know? Because I'm extremely opinionated.
Yeah, I would say you definitely are. So some of the things we talked about yesterday were. So there's a group. In fact, let me look them up. They're called STEP, STEP.
Oh yeah, I've heard a little bit about these motherfuckers. That's got that Valencia model in it. But that woman at the thing said that we are grooming the little kids. I mean, I'm right there. I'm right there with Roy. Fuck you. Just because we're gay, and that's another thing. Christians hate the homosexual sin. It's a sin. In the Bible, it says, "Man shall not lay with man like he does woman." Don't know where at, but it says it in their summers. So the Christians, especially the Pentecostals, they hate the homosexual act. They hate the homosexual sin. So if you're homosexual, they pretty much hate your ass. They ain't gonna admit because hating somebody's a sin. They ain't gonna admit to hating you personally, but they hate your ass. So I'm standing behind Roy when he looks at that old woman and says, "Fuck you." I'm right there with him. Fuck you, bitch. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm raping your kids. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm teaching your kids to be gay.
So what about wanting to invite and expose young little kids to all this drag queen stuff and the queens dancing with those little
story
tiny
hour at the library with drag queens,
ass hanging out outfits, and they're shaking their ass in front of these little kids, and then the idiot parents giving their kids, here's $1, go give him $1, you know, like in the traditional stripper scene.
Well, and that's where you're right. Drag queens are entertainers, so they're gonna. I mean, what's the best way for an entertainer to get a little attention? Flash some skin, show a little ass, show some tit.
I get that.
I mean, you're gonna go, hello. Did I just see tit? Oh, wait a second. Did I just see a penis drop down there between them legs on this woman up here on stage? Yeah, so they're gonna get some attention, and that's what drag queens acquire or crave. They crave attention.
Yeah, that's fine. I get that. It's all about marketing.
But should it be shoved down a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 15, 17, 18-year-old's throat? No. Absolutely fucking not. If you're an adult
And that's what
and
most
you
of
want
us
to, and you want to go to a gay bar and watch a drag show? Fucking go.
enjoy yourself. I don't
Should you
care.
take your kids with you? No. Get a fucking babysitter. You can't afford one? Don't go to the fucking drag show. You got a mother, don't you? You got a father, don't you? You got a grandma? Hey, grandma, can you watch my kids for a couple hours? I'm going to go to the bar and watch a drag show. I take the kids, but I think they're too young. Grandma go, yeah, watch the fucking kids. They don't need to see that shit. Common fucking sense.
And this is the one point that she's talking about.
I stand behind her on that.
That's what she's referring to.
I stand behind her on that point.
Granted, yes, the Christian people in general will, I don't know, I guess you can call it hate, but they don't agree with the gay lifestyle, the gay life, or lifestyle, if you want to call it that. Are some people born gay? Yes, they are. I believe they are.
I believe they are too. Are some people choose to be gay? Abso-fucking-lutely they do.
I think more people choose to be gay than are born gay.
Especially nowadays because it's in to be gay.
Yeah, the thing. I remember when being gay wasn't cool. I know, we talked about this before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nowadays kids like, oh, I'm gay. Oh, you are? Are you sure you are? Yeah, it's cool to be gay. Okay, whatever.
And we talked about this. I don't know. I'm going to keep sounding like a broken
You tell
record,
me it's cool to be gay the first time you suck a dick, and then come back and tell me it's cool to be gay. Well, you're choking on, and in the backyard like, oh, this is fucking disgusting. Oh, yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, it's not cool to be gay, dude. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah, just a warning. I should have warned. This is not a conversation for the faint of heart or for the very young.
And I don't have a filter, so there you'll have that.
Yeah.
But most of you in the show here, you know that I don't have a filter, and you're still here, so you know what you're getting when I'm here. True story.
Pretty much. So, okay. So going back, that's where she mostly was concerned that this group, STEP, which is South Texas Equality Project, that's what STEP stands for. And they're over here, and they really want to do all these things and have these activities and invite young people. And we're talking young. I don't mean teenagers. I mean little kids. Yeah, it's like, bring the family.
No, don't bring a family because it's not a family event. When you have drag queens, it's not a family event. Just like a lot of pride parades, not a family event. Why? Because there's nudity in them. There's men running around in jock straps or thongs or whatnot, showing off their ass, showing off their big bulges with makeup on. Okay, fine. You want to wear makeup? I don't have a problem with it. Okay, I can't remember if I took a picture of it the other day. I was on Grindr. Yeah, occasionally I go to Grindr. And I'm like, oh, well, let's look at this person. So here's this person, full beard, wearing fucking makeup, identifies as a woman, said he is a woman. Okay, so are we going back to the 1940s where we have bearded ladies at the carnival? I mean, okay, dude, get rid of the facial hair if you want to be a fucking woman. I mean, are we trying to have our cake and eat it too? You dress like a man, you have a beard, you put makeup on, and you call yourself a woman.
Yeah, what do you call that? Identifies as both at the same time.
And then, you know, as I'm scrolling through the pictures, here you are wearing men's fucking underwear, and you're showing us your package with fucking makeup on, and full facial hair, and body hair to boot. I mean, it looked like fucking Chewbacca from Star Wars. He was that fucking hairy, and he calls himself a woman. So,
talk about identity issues.
Seriously. Okay, did the makeup make you look pretty? Well, it helped. I mean, you weren't that ugly to begin with, but now you just kind of look like, for lack of a better term, a fucking freak.
So I think you're talking about something similar to
Oh, that one? Oh, sweet Jesus! I know what you're bringing. I see what you're bringing up.
that one.
It looked a lot like that. Yes.
Now, this was the guy, the dude, the guy, the woman, the whatever. See, you want to be polite, right? Out of courtesy, you want to be polite.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to say she, but
Are you sure
got
you want
more
to
hair
call
on
it
her
a she
face than
though?
me.
I mean, are you sure you want to call him a she?
So somebody like this, and she's wearing heels and everything. So somebody like this, are they going to get angry if you say the wrong pronouns?
Okay, so I've seen this video.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I think you've even played it here before.
Yeah.
So yes, this man gets extremely pissed when you don't call him a she. But I'm right there with you, Mama. He is no man or no woman. Sorry.
Everybody's confused. Even the gay guy. He gets confused too. So this was a debate they had. Matt Walsh was in this one. And Matt Walsh asked, oops. See, I don't want to play the whole thing because then I'm going to get
Dinged. Well, if you speed it up to make him sound funny, you won't get dinged.
So the one on the right is a man who I guess identifies as a woman but likes his beard. The one on the left was a woman that now identifies like a man, and they're a couple. These two are a couple.
So how does this work? Does the one in the heels fuck her in the ass?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know the mechanics of that.
I'm not sure I want to know, to be honest with you.
Frankly, I think you would know better than I would, to be honest.
Because he's the one with the dick. The other one doesn't have a dick.
Did they leave out the Matt Walsh part? They sure did.
Actually, I'm lost too, to be honest with you.
So, how did we get here?
You brought this one into it.
I know. I can't remember why. We're talking about.
Because I was telling you about a profile I seen on Grindr, a bearded woman.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I just showed this to show you. You mean like this?
Yeah, exactly like that. Yes.
So Matt Walsh asked this one, "What is a woman?" Couldn't answer.
I could answer that.
And then he asked. Oops. And then he asked, where's that little guy? Then he asked this one, what is a woman? You know what he said? And that's a woman. That's a real woman identifying as a man. He asked him, what's a woman? And he says, well, that's not for me to say. Like,
I can tell you what a woman is.
What is your definition of a woman, Bam?
My definition of a woman is someone born at birth as a female, grows to give birth through every natural means possible, and raises a child as whatever sex it is born as. That is a woman.
So a woman is a female,
yes,
that is able to give birth.
Yes.
And it has, obviously, in order to give birth, she needs to have the female body
Reproductive
parts,
systems,
reproductive
yes.
organs, and all that stuff.
And a woman can actually feed her child from her bosom.
Yes, she's able. Well, not everybody. I guess most of them can, but some of them can't.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because if you've had breast cancer or something, then obviously you cannot.
So Matt Walsh explained to the long-haired, bearded one, yeah, what is a woman? And a woman is someone who can reproduce. And then her response was, well, there's some women, his or hers. There are some women who can't reproduce for whatever, their insides are messed up, their uterus is messed up.
Well, that would be correct. Somebody that has a hysterectomy cannot no longer reproduce. But at one point, they could. But are they still a woman? Yes, they are still a woman.
Thank you.
Why? Because they were born as a female.
And just like the other discussion, the one doctor, I think he was a professor, he said, only a female can menstruate. I don't know if you've seen that video, that conversation.
Nope, but that's 100% true, because you have to have ovaries in order to menstruate.
Yeah.
And you have to have a...
you have X chromosomes, you can
a uterus. You have to have a uterus to menstruate as well.
If you have XY chromosomes, you cannot menstruate. You are a male. Well, what about the trans? A trans woman can't. No, that's a woman. It's not a man. That's a woman.
Hey, hang on. Beth is asking a question here. I get confused when a man is gay, but is with a woman who dresses like a man, or vice versa.
Okay.
I would get confused as well, but if a man is gay and with a woman, obviously he's putting up a front. But if the woman dresses like a man...
This is the thing. And I had this question as a teenager when I was growing up. So I guess I know it's this is too early for pillow talk, but oh well, too late now.
Sex. We're all adults here.
So two guys are attracted to each other, and a guy wants to enter the guy, as if it was a woman's opening input.
Cooter.
All right.
Cooter.
So if he's doing that, okay, two women together, well, they need a strap on, or they need toys and stuff, because they want that in there. And if you want that, why not have, I don't know, it's just confusing.
They may want that, but not from a him. They want it from a her. Have you ever watched The L Word?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Shane.
I can't remember his name. That was such a long time ago.
Okay, well, Shane was kind of like a butch woman. She was always the male in a relationship. She tend to make a lot of females extremely happy. Well, Shane's girlfriend, when they broke up, she found some guy by the name of Poppy, but it was a female by the name of Poppy. And they're in the back of a car. And Poppy is going circles and just driving this woman crazy with her tongue. And you can imagine how the hands are going and pulling things in a little closer and moving it around and whatnot. But after it was all done and over with, she had asked Poppy what she did to make it so amazing. And she goes, "Oh, I just moved my tongue in circles."
All right.
So obviously circles is the key.
Circle is the key.
I don't know. I ain't never been there. I ain't ever going there.
All right. Roy will be joining us in just a moment.
Oh, has Roy been watching?
He's probably listening going, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Circles, Roy. Circles. You know, circles?
Oh, my God.
Told you. I can turn anything sexual. It's a gift. And a curse. Oh, sweet Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
This conversation is
You said you wanted gay shit, dude. I'll give you gay shit all day long.
oh my god. The other
Bam,
day
with
we're
these,
talking
would those two people be classified as fetish? I think I'd classify them as lesbians.
fetish is like a
toe fetish or a spanking fetish or
like an interest, like a special specific interest, right?
Yeah, or one thing I find extremely disgusting besides feet, and feet are disgusting, but the other thing is armpits. Some people have an armpit fetish. They love the smell of.
yeah.
It's like, ugh.
So somebody
That's a
told me
fetish.
about a tickling fetish.
Oh,
That's a
tickle your ass
fetish,
with
right?
a feather, I will.
Well, they were talking about tickling, and they got a warehouse. It's a tickling competition and all this stuff.
Shut up.
Oh yeah,
Shut up.
I'm serious.
Fuck me.
Roy has arrived. You ready? You ready? You need a minute.
I'm
Roy.
ready if he's ready. We got a thumbs up. He's ready.
Yeah, let me get this L word off of here.
Get the L word off there. We're not talking about lesbians anymore. No, actually, the L word, the L stood for love, not lesbian. But if you guys are ever bored and you need like 5 seasons of gayness to watch, I highly suggest the L word or Queer as Folk.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's up, Roy?
Roy, welcome,
Hi, guys.
Roy. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm excellent tonight.
So have you been watching the show from the beginning?
Not from the beginning. I was at a party earlier. I started watching right before 8 p.m.
I don't know what we were talking about at that point.
Yeah,
Me.
we're talking about. Well, yeah, a little bit, yeah. But then we're talking about.
We talked about a lot.
Yep.
You know, the other day we were talking about tampons and stuff, so you can imagine what we've been talking about. How you doing? How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
So you created quite a buzz last week. I mean, we're not gonna.
Well, I do that frequently.
Good for you.
Around the issue. And the videos were out there, and you know that lady made her comment at the meeting, and then you had your event. What was that event you were at anyway?
Out and Proud. That's an event I hosted last year for the first time. Just an event at a local bar during Pride Month, hosted by the Gay Commissioner.
All right. And what? I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, we can start from the beginning.
Let's start with the fuck you.
Okay.
Good place to start.
Brava.
So Bam is kind of with you, but that's, you know, there are things that she said.
I heard Bam talk about that. I appreciate the support, but he's supporting me for an FU to someone that I didn't say FU to. And that's where the controversy is. And that's where the problem is that there's a group and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon to create this false narrative that I was directing that at Ninfa or I was directing that at the Christian community. And that's just a lie.
But it really did seem like, because you said the words that she said. Let me give
you an example, Manny. So let's say, and you know this, you've gotten criticism for not being tougher on me because they think you're conservative and I'm a progressive, so you should be hard on me and stuff. And I know I've had friends that are conservative that get crap for not treating me like shit also. And vice versa. You know, I got attacked during May for being a supporter of law enforcement during Law Enforcement Appreciation Month. And I got attacked by folks for that. So I get attacked by folks all the time for all sorts of things. So let me give you an example. So if people are criticizing me for my association with you or your show or BAM, and because I started my speech that night with I have a message for, and it was, and I have a message for those people, but I'm going to do it to put it in the right context for you guys. So I've got a message for anybody who's critical of me because I'm friends with Manny Fossi, BAM, the Manny Behind the Mic show, and everything they talk about. F you. Now, if you take out the first line where I said, I've got a message for all of those people who have a problem with this, and you just tune in to Manny Fossey, Bam, the Manny Behind the Mic show, F you, who does it sound like I'm saying it to? That is what's going on. Yeah. And you've got individuals out there who are spreading this that claim they've got the full video, and that's really what I said. And that's why I tell them.
Who has the full video? How come we haven't seen the full video?
I didn't record the event. I saw that's the only clip I've seen. There's individuals who claim they've got the whole event recorded. I'm like, then release it, please.
Yeah, play it. Show us.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. If there is more to it, like you say there is.
There's a lot more to it.
It does matter. It does matter.
There were multiple speeches that night, and that was not even 3 seconds of mine, 5 seconds of mine or less, and it didn't start at the beginning of my speech.
Just like this gentleman in New York on the subway, the guy that he killed. Okay, everybody's standing there watching it, but nobody started recording it until he's in the hold and he's being held. That's all the video you see. Yeah, there was a lot more to it, but nobody has it or sees it or talks about that.
Exactly.
Same situation.
See, but my thing is still, did that what she said warrant such a harsh?
No, the lie that's being told warrants a harsh response. And she made my case for me earlier this week, in fact. But the lie that's being told is that this is the STEP task force. That STEP is driving the proclamations and the agenda in Brownsville. That STEP had something to do with the flag raising. That STEP had something to do with First Friday being Pride themed. That is all a lie. I mean, you pull up, and I know you did some research on STEP. You pull up their page, go to their About section. What are they about? Nothing that is claimed in those videos are they about. That this claim that STEP has an agenda to infiltrate the school districts and they're lobbying school districts to get queer culture in all of the schools, lie. There's not one shred of evidence of that. I've talked to members of STEP. I'm like, are you guys working with school districts or lobbying school districts? They're like, no, not at all. We don't even have time for that. The claim that Nolan Navarro, the chair of the task force, is a STEP operative. Look at the STEP website. It has the link to say meet the team. Their team is right there. No one from Brownsville's task force is on there. So where this false narrative, this false story is being told, and it's all about they're coming for the children of Brownsville. They've set their sights on Brownsville. That is all a bunch of bull. But automatically, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Do you think it's okay for these little kids to be at these drag queen events? I think some of the videos that came out that was the last couple of weeks.
I think unless, for one, with that same video, none of those drag performances were in Brownsville. There was no drag show at First Friday. There was no drag show at Market Square. The editing makes it look like that. All that footage was not from First Friday. The only thing was the walk, and that was just a pride walk. Nobody was in drag for that walk, and nobody was stripping or anything else for that walk.
What about that
showing in the video were from the Upper Valley?
That fashion show that happened, that one fashion show, was that down here?
If you can call it a fashion show, it was a pride walk. But yeah, that was the one that I was in.
I thought it was a fashion show.
In the video, that's the one that I was in. There was 10 people or less that walked out, and I was dressed like I dress every day. The same way I was dressed in the FU video, I was dressed exactly the same way, except I had on a black polo shirt instead of a pink polo shirt.
Okay, so
it wasn't even coming about dressed gay or dressed in queer colors or anything out. It being a pride walk, that's more about, we have pride in who we are, and we look just like anybody else. There's not a stereotypical look that whether you look like me and I'm gay, and whether you look like anybody else who was in that walk who's gay or bi or trans or whatever they are. That was not a drag show. It wasn't a drag walk. There was no drag performance.
So how about
your question though about kids at drag shows? Unless it's my kid that we're talking about, my opinion doesn't matter. Because now if we're talking about drag shows that are like in a bar where there's something very suggestive, that's one thing. If you're talking about a drag show somewhere else where it is designed to be a family event and there's nothing provocative, then it's up to the parent. We make the argument all the time. We don't want teachers having these conversations with our kids. The parents should get the right to decide.
And I think your opinion does matter.
Decide, they have to have a choice. So we have no problem with having a choice of I'll let the teacher or not let the teacher have the conversation. But for other stuff, it's like, no, those parents can't have a choice. Everything has to be denied to them. There's no choice at all for those parents.
Part of the problem I had with allowing these little kids there, that it wasn't the Pride promoters. These are the parents that brought their kids over to this event.
And I get that. I totally get
that. I have a problem with that. I do have a problem.
But again, it's First Friday is an event that happens every month in Brownsville. Every month it has a different theme. Next Friday, it's going to be 4th of July theme. You know, the theme usually goes with the month if there's something going on that month. This year, the organizers of First Friday chose Pride. Step had no involvement in that, despite the lie being told on that video. Step is nowhere involved in the organization of First Friday or its themes. It's the downtown bar owners, the downtown manager for the city of Brownsville. Those are the organizers.
So, but does STEP work with the task force on anything at all? Do they work hand in hand?
I'm not aware of anything that they partnered on. I know that there have been events where they both set up as exhibitors, or if there's something happening where we've got several people who show up, like there's a Pride Day at the farmer's market and several groups from Mount Calvary show up. I don't know for sure, but I believe STEP has been out there before. Valley AIDS Council's been out there. Any group that offers support services for the LGBTQ community usually comes to events like that. And if you look at what their work is and what they're about and what their upcoming events are, most of it is support group, LGBTQ support groups, trans support groups. I think there's parent support groups for parents with trans kids. It's stuff like that. That's the work that they're doing. But
so you got no qualms. You're okay with the big loud FU you told that lady?
I didn't tell that lady FU. That's
it was not directed at her.
That
okay,
is
so you say. I believe it was, because it just.
And let me set the stage even more. That's
Ninfa.
Ninfa.
It walks like a duck. It just looked like it. I mean, she said a few words, and you said those words.
Yeah.
She said hallelujah. Who else did anybody else say that? It seemed this is very obvious. And you can show this to 100 people, and oh yeah, of course he responded to that lady.
And yeah, you take it out of context, that's absolutely how it'll sound. You can make things sound.
And then it's so difficult for people to get up and speak publicly anyway. And then this is why they don't want to. When they get a response like this, and then from a commissioner.
But that's the thing. She did not get a response like this. That is a lie that is being told. Ninfa is somebody who up until last week I thought was related to me because she's at every one of our family get-togethers. I know Ninfa. This isn't directed at her. That's not what this is about. But just what I'm talking about with this video, Ninfa said it on a show earlier this week. We came to speak about the STEP organization agenda. And it's a lie what their agenda is. That whole video is lying about what their agenda is about.
So again, so you're saying STEP has got nothing to do with any of this going on down here.
Right. Everything that happened in the month of June in Brownsville, STEP had nothing to do with any of it, with the planning of any of it, organizing. I know for a fact the flag raising, I coordinated that. My office coordinated that with the Convention Visitors Bureau. You know, that and the First Friday, that's an ongoing event through downtown business owners and the downtown manager. The crosswalk, that's already been through public information. That was the downtown manager who works with the downtown business owners on First Friday, made the request because it was a Pride theme. There's not one email anywhere in those public information requests that anybody who is not a city employee was involved in discussions or made this request or anything like that. It is complete BS. But because they're telling that lie, then yeah, you're bringing people out like Ninfa and everybody else who spoke, because they're convinced that these horrible things are happening when they're being sold a lie. So yeah, my speech was exactly who it was directed to, and it's the folks creating this false narrative who are riling up the community, causing division, and bringing people out for public comment with their hallelujahs and their Bible verses and anything else. But the message was to the people spreading the lie, not to the people.
So that's who you refer to as the people.
Yes. And I believe the two young men who spoke that day who were not from Brownsville, I believe those were the guys with the body cams. Because everybody saw them at First Friday. You see people walking around with body cameras on and they're in civilian clothes. They're not Brownsville PD. That stands out.
Yeah, but I mean, anybody can go to any community and
no, absolutely. I'm just saying yeah, anybody can. I'm just saying it was obvious that they were there because everybody knew that. And again, nobody running and scurrying to hide anything because there was nothing to hide.
And what is the latest with the we'll call it vandalism when they painted the white over the Pride crosswalk?
Yes.
What's the latest on that?
I don't know. I'd have to check with PD and see if there's any updates. I know that there was plenty of footage on city cameras and plenty of footage on cameras from the businesses in the immediate area. And I know they caught the individual on film. I don't know if it's been approved for release yet, but it's available. And I know I've got several TV stations that have been reaching out regularly for updates. So as soon as I talk to PD, I'll be reaching out to those news outlets as well.
So, Roy, do you have an idea of what the punishment would be for if this person ever gets caught and convicted? Do you have an idea of what they're looking at?
I expect with a crime like that, part of it is based on the value. So now we know that the crosswalk was about $3,600 in value.
Wow.
So I know it's a misdemeanor at that level. I don't know exactly which classification, but then the question becomes, and this would be a decision for the DA, do you enhance that because this was targeting a specific group? This was a hate-motivated crime.
Hate crime,
right?
Yeah,
exactly. But that's a question for the DA.
Has it been repainted? Is it going to get repainted?
No, it was only, and even the public information request showed it was only supposed to be for the month of June. That's it.
Now,
so at that date, it was like, do we want to spend another $3,500? And we had businesses and citizens ready to donate. We're like, do we want to put the money into that when it's going to come down in 9 days anyway? Or would we rather put the money into something else that could potentially be up year round? And that's what we're looking at now.
So you got conspiracy theorists that say that the covering it, the white paint covering the pride colors was an inside job to make it look like, oh, look, we were victimized. You know, see, there's hate.
And I remember during my campaign when that hateful mailer went out, there were people saying, well, Roy probably did that to himself to play the victim and get attention.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's what people always say because they don't want to. I mean, I've seen so many people say, why are you complaining? There's no hate. Nobody hates the gay community. This is the safest time in the history to be gay. This is the gayest time the country's ever been. And I'm like, no, you're full of it. And then now the country may be gayer than it ever is, but you can't still say it's completely safe. We know for a fact that crimes against LGBTQ community are up. And especially after this fiasco and the lies.
You said they're up. See, and that's where I don't hear these things.
What's that?
I don't hear these whatever you want to call them, hate crimes or crimes against the LGBTQ community and assaults or whatever.
I'll pull up the articles and I'll send you the links. It's not in Brownsville, Texas, but nationwide. Oh yeah.
And why do you think that's happening now in this day and age that we're well into early this decade, this century, 2023?
People are a lot less filtered now since 2016 and are more emboldened because of the gains that have been made over the years. And I think here in Brownsville, especially, this is, again, he didn't run on this, but we just elected another openly gay commissioner, and I think that pissed a lot of people off. You know, and it's terrible because, and luckily in that race, it didn't deteriorate into that. You know, when I ran 2 years ago, and my campaign page is still up, my mailers are still the same. It talked about my community organizations. It talked about my top priorities: infrastructure, economic development, emergency preparedness, ethics, transparency, and accountability. There was nothing about wanting to be the first gay commissioner. There was nothing about equal rights. There was nothing about fair practice ordinances. None of that. It was all about good government, but automatically I was getting attacked over and over and over for my involvement on the task force, for the pride flag being raised. And then the narrative was Christian values are in danger. Family values are in danger because Roy de los Santos has a gay agenda. That was not an area I was
why-
not looking to be the first gay commissioner, but I embrace it because that
Why does it have to be?
that there is an issue in this community. If I'm not even talking about my sexuality and I'm getting attacked for it, then there's clearly some hate and bigotry issues in our community.
So there was a flyer for some event. I guess that event was last weekend, and Brian Martinez, Commissioner Martinez, one of the guests, and on the flyer it said "Gay Commissioner Martinez." It's like, why does it have to be gay commissioner? Why can't you just be commissioner?
Commissioner, absolutely.
You know, I mean, and I think, not that it's right, but I think that's where some people are like, why? And me and Bam talk about it all the time. It's like, it seems like the real agenda is just to force us to be proud with you. It's like,
And
I don't have to be, you know. I grew up in a gay neighborhood. You know my story already.
Yeah.
I'm gayer than some of the gay guys around here because I grew up amongst them.
I don't know about that.
Right? But you know, that Bam and I talked about a time where gays just wanted to be, yeah, I'm gay, just, you know, I'm gonna live over here and you leave me alone and I'll leave you alone, and you know, and that was life. And that's what happened. And now it's turned into a whole different thing where you have to join in somebody's pride in your pride. Otherwise, you're called a hater or a homophobe or a bigot or whatever.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think people are just sick of the U.S. government shoving it down everybody's fucking throat.
Well, but qualify that. In what way? Because just allowing somebody to be themselves in public.
Pronouns. You must call him a she or a he or a they or a cis, whatever.
Say that again?
The pronoun thing, for one.
What about the pronoun?
We're getting closer and closer and closer for this to be illegal and to have a penalty if I misgender somebody or don't use somebody's pronouns or disagree to use somebody's pronouns, that I can get cited and get a ticket or get jailed.
Where? I've never heard of any law being passed that it would make it a crime to misuse someone's pronoun.
The law has not been passed, but the Democrats have talked about it.
It happened in Canada, and people said it couldn't happen, and it happened in Canada.
They passed a law?
Oh, yeah. Bill C-16.
That's crazy. And I can't imagine a law like that would survive in America, because to me, that's unconstitutional.
I totally agree.
I think the government can't regulate speech.
Freedom of speech.
And it's no different than hate speech. If I know that you prefer to be called he and I'm going to call you she just to piss you off because I say it conflicts with my beliefs or whatever, that's no different than me calling you something racial, some racial slur.
See, but if you call me she, I don't care. I'm not going to get butthurt, and I'm not going to go and file a lawsuit, and I'm just going to keep walking and go, yeah, okay. I mean,
fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Fuck you.
You know, you know, why does it have to be so fucking, excuse my French, hardcore? You know, and now we're getting into, why are people so sensitive?
I mean,
why are so many
different places, because I don't see anything in Brownsville that is that hardcore.
Well, I'm talking generally speaking.
Okay.
Why are people so freaking sensitive? Why are, you know, I like to call them snowflakes.
And I agree with you on that. A lot of people are. That's an appropriate term.
Yeah, you see all these, you know, the most famous one is the guy, masculine looking guy, but he's dressed like a female. And it's the whole, you know, it's ma'am. It's ma'am.
I remember that one.
And to the point where they're getting violent, and I just think it's
well. And even then, at that video, and we've said this when we played that video, the only thing that even could possibly indicate that he is a girl is he had a purse and long hair. That's it. No makeup. He was wearing jeans, had a jean jacket on, dressed like a man. Okay. At first glance, you're gonna look up, or you're not even gonna look up, and you hear a deep voice. You're gonna say, "Sir." Because you're busy, you're doing whatever. Sir, I'll be right with you. Yada yada. It's ma'am. What? What the fuck? What happened?
Yeah, that's a whole issue. The one thing I really have a problem with, and people want to respect. I think people want to respect city government, the mayor, commissioners. I just think it's a bad look when you come out and you curse at somebody, or you curse about a thing. Just cursing.
No, and I agree with you 100%, and that is why I apologized. And that is why the apology, there was two-part in there. It was to any citizen who was disappointed seeing one of the elected leaders using language like this, but also if there was any Christians that felt it was directed at them, because that's the lie that's being told. I apologize to both citizens who are disappointed to see an elected official talking like that, and to any Christians who felt like it was directed at them, because it was not directed at the Christian community. It was not directed at NINFA. And citizens are right. Our elected officials should be a better representation of us. 100%.
Sometimes,
I apologize for that.
Sometimes you have to use colorful language to get your point across.
And I can always get my point across without resorting to that. But that night I did. But again, I'm tired. There's another individual posting it online who says, I'm not against the gay community, but I'm against Roy de los Santos and his push for pedophiles to groom children. They're putting that shit in writing. And I'm sorry, but that is a damn lie.
Well, that's fucking slander. If it's in print, it's slander, and you can sue their ass.
It's complete slander.
So you sue them. Because
elected officials have a much higher standard for a burden of proof in a court of law. It's not as simple as just filing a small claim slander suit, defamation suit. But, totally different for an elected official. I've looked at it.
I don't know you on a daily basis, but the little interaction we have had together, I 10,000% believe you are not hanging around any pedophiles or pushing pedophiles towards any children whatsoever.
Exactly.
I mean that's ludicrous. It's stupid. It's fucking ignorant.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, now I would agree. I don't think you're all about that. I think it's
not at all. But that's the lie that's being told. And I know some folks have commented, you should just apologize. You shouldn't explain it. You shouldn't have to put an explanation with it. But the problem is I do, because I've seen this before. And back when we had an incident last year, and people were like, "Oh, Commissioner de los Santos is the one responsible for getting pedophiles jobs in the community." And I'm like, I'd come on your show when that lie was first being told. I came on the show, we talked about it, cleared the air. And like a month later, there were people posting it online, and they were using it as an argument against the arena. So they're saying if a local official who's for the arena is doing this, getting pedophiles jobs, we should. So I'm like, why are you saying these things? What the hell are you basing it on? They're like, well, you've never denied the allegation, so it must be true. I denied it immediately. I denied it immediately. But aside from that, you shouldn't believe something just because you read it on the internet.
You were also accused of pushing and hiring for the guy that was arrested over at
the what I'm talking about. And that was the claim, and that was a complete lie. But there are people who didn't hear me.
Roy approved it. Roy pushed for it, or Roy approved it, or Roy suggested he get hired.
None of which was true. But because they didn't see me on your show denying it, they're like, well, that's an admission of guilt. He never denied it.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, just apologize. I'm like, if people are saying I said F you to the Christian community, and I say I apologize, that makes it sound like I'm apologizing for saying F you to the Christian community when that's not what I did. I'm like, I'll apologize for what I did, for letting constituents down who don't want elected officials talking like that. I apologize to anyone who's offended, who felt it was directed at them when it wasn't. But I'm not going to apologize for saying F you to the Christian community when I never said F you to the Christian community.
So another burning question is, are you trying to make the entire commission gay? And I don't mean convert them.
Are you passing out gay pills down there, Roy?
I mean, are you looking to elect only gay commissioners?
God, no. I didn't even have anything to do with Brian deciding to run for office. And I know, of course, that's everything is Roy put him up to it. No, that is absolutely not the case.
Yeah, that's definitely what's being said.
Of course it's what's being said. It's juicy, it's salacious. And to say that, yes, that Roy's had an agenda from day one, he's going to try and make the entire commission gay. and fly rainbow flags at every government building across the city.
I
That's
remember
the lie
that.
that's been told since day one. The reason Brian decided to run, like he said, because he felt the citizens of District 1 deserved a choice. I got involved in the race before Brian was ever even a candidate, because originally Brian's plan was to run in 27. I think working as my chief of staff, he gets to see a lot of behind the scenes, or got to see a lot of behind the scenes. And I'm sure that was part of the impetus for him to fill out the application and run. But, that's really more a question for him. But I remember when that picture of him with the envelope went on the internet, that he had picked up a packet. He had sent me that picture, and he said, guess what I did today? And I assumed, and I asked, I said, did you pick up my mail? Because I thought he was picking up my mail from the city secretary's office. Because usually the mail for commissioners is in big envelopes, and we go by and pick it up. And since I have an assistant, I usually have my assistant go pick it up. That's what I assumed it was. But even before that, I had already reached out to a local PR company and told them, if anybody surfaces who wants to run for District 1 and run against that incumbent, I've got the material to help them with their campaign. Because I know exactly how that position has been conducted for the last 2 years, and it's reprehensible. So I wanted to see change there. I didn't expect it was going to be Brian. I'm glad that it is, but I think I was looking for any halfway decent candidate to run in the race for District 1.
So one of the other things that was said about this LGBTQ task force was, and who's been saying this, and honestly, I don't know what is the latest on it. That trans female that is missing, Kimberly, I don't know her last name.
Avila,
Kimberly Avila. She is a trans person that I don't know if she was a one of those ladies of the night, if you will, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the case or not, but one night she just vanished and disappeared.
Right.
And so some of the criticism is, well, why isn't the task force doing more with that, or dealing with that than dealing with the accusation was you were buddy with Step. I think, well, what about Kimberly? Do you have anything on Kimberly at all? Does the task force have anything on Kimberly Avila?
As a matter of fact, some of those who were part of that Pride Walk that night at First Friday was Kimberly's family. So, and I've worked this year to build our relationship with the family because they felt like they weren't seen enough from the city side. And so this year, as part of the Pride exhibit at the Performing Arts Academy, the Avila family set up an exhibit for Kimberly because we want the community to know that we haven't forgotten, that they have not forgotten. PD has confirmed this is still an open investigation. As new leads come in, they're continuing to investigate those. At this time, they don't have any new leads. They feel they've exhausted what they could with regard to the leads they had. I know in this administration, they did look back over the case from what was done previously under previous administrations. And I know, I think it was Investigation Discovery was the last network to air a special on Kimberly. And usually when you have shows like that, and it's always, if you have any tips, here's the number, please call in. Yeah. And you'll usually have some new tips come in after shows like that. As I understand it, this was one time, this most recent airing, that no new tips came in at all. But it is still an open investigation. The family still wants answers. And the task force has been very big on that. That's how I learned as much as I did about Kimberly and what went on, was because of the task force. And I think we've got a great relationship with the police department now. And I have confidence in them to handle any new tips that come in related to Kimberly.
Well, we do hope something gets resolved or found.
Absolutely.
Or something. Because it's been quite a while. We're talking years now, right?
I believe it was 2017.
Yeah. So it has been a while. What's going on with the city? Any big projects coming up? I know my street, they're fixing it right now.
Lots of streets are going to get redone. We continue to approve budgets and funding, and I know there's still grants that we're going after for more streets. I hope to have the master list. I keep the master list on my website right next to my scorecard, and I did ask staff to get me the updated list. They're working on that right now, so constituents have a place to go and look at, okay, these are the streets that are coming up and exactly what's going to happen, whether it's just mill and overlay or whether it's complete reconstruction. And some of those will be complete reconstruction with curbs, gutters, sidewalks, everything. I know, excuse me, old 77 there by in front of Movies 10 in Browns.
Yeah.
That's going to be completely redone, all the way down to the base, curbs, gutters, everything. I know old Alice and from Ruben Torres to the frontage road and Jose Marti, those are getting redone as well, and those need it badly. And there's a slew of streets that are on that list.
So you know, part of the complaint when the crosswalk was painted,
Mm-hmm.
and at least I felt like, you know, so many other projects needing, like, why take money and put it on that when all these bus stops still need to go up? You know, all these streets are fixed, or the drainage problem, or, I mean, you name it. There's a lot of stuff that it seems like, and I said this already, if the city was really caught up with all their work and everything was getting, grass wasn't cut, you know the situation with the grass and all that stuff. But here we are spending the money to do this crosswalk project.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, it had the city's running like a well-oiled machine, and things are getting done, and everybody can see things being done, and everything's nice and cut and clean and stuff. I think less people would care about it, be so passionate about this little project.
I'd agree with that. Less people would complain about it. There would still be complaints, and there would probably still be vandalism.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. And, you know, that's something.
Because remember, 3 years ago, 2020, we raised a flag. Didn't cost the city a dime. We did all the work. I paid for the flag. But we still had criticism. We still had vandalism. We still had theft. Didn't cost the taxpayers a dime. We still had hate.
Yeah.
And on the other stuff, I mean, the streets, you're talking millions when you're talking streets. Same thing with drainage. We're going to spend like $46 million on drainage improvements, and that won't solve every drainage problem in Brownsville, but those are tackling them in order of priority. The bus stops, we just awarded the contract to get those installed. But again, the 30 bus stops overall, from engineering, design, the right-of-ways, laying the slabs, and the shelters themselves, from manufacturing, shipping, and everything, you're talking 1.1 million. A bus shelter itself is probably about 10 to 12,000, but it's not just about the shelter. It's about the site, the engineering, the construction, the installation. There's a lot more to it than that. And
the sports park, 4th of July, still having a celebration or a fireworks thing over there this weekend?
It will be Saturday. Saturday tailgating starts at 5 p.m. and then the event starts at 6 p.m. Fireworks at 9. And I think there's a Veterans March or Veterans Parade of sorts at 7 p.m., I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully the weather, the rain has not been here. It's just been hot as.
Let's see, what is the forecast for this weekend?
I think it looks good for the weekend. I still don't see any rain.
So when you're done talking about the fireworks this weekend, Roy, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
So,
multitask.
Okay, Manny was reading your statement to me today, or the part that I couldn't get to because I had to run off and do something, and he was a little confused on the point where you said, "Well, let's agree to disagree." He didn't know what you meant by that, and he said, "Well, let's hope. Well, let's maybe we can ask him." So I think I had to explain it to him what you meant by agree to disagree. So do you remember what you meant by that?
If I recall correctly, I think that was when I was referring to meeting and talking to other citizens. And I have no problem having a disagreement with citizens that we agree to disagree. That, if we're just talking something simple like, I think homosexuality is a sin. Two men loving each other and being in a relationship and having sex, some people think that's a sin. I disagree. I'm like, when I'm looking at a committed, monogamous, loving relationship, you can't tell me those guys are going to hell because it's two guys. I'm like, I'm not going to believe that. I'm like, and I have no problem with citizens disagreeing with me on that. We can agree to disagree. I don't think someone's a bigot or a homophobe for feeling differently on that. But I think when somebody then says, oh, those two men, they're adopting children. They're grooming children for pedophiles. Now that is a bigot. That is a homophobe, because there's no truth to that. They're just wanting to turn people against these individuals because they're gay.
So,
But yeah, agreeing to disagree with citizens every day of the week, no problem at all. I have no problem with citizens who disagree with me. I've had several one-on-one discussions with citizens this week, including religious leaders, and there's more coming. And yeah, we even with one of the citizens this week, we talked extensively about Scripture, the Bible, where I am in my faith, where I am in my salvation. And, you know, there were a lot of things we see eye to eye on, a lot of things we agree with each other on. I respect them for how devout they are in their faith and their beliefs, but we disagree on certain things, especially when it comes to, you know, Scripture is the law. That's it. Doesn't change, can't be changed, can't be interpreted differently, despite the fact that it's been interpreted over and over and over for 2,000 years.
in many different ways.
Exactly. And the fact that even when we're talking English, there's probably 100 different versions of an English Bible. Well, if it's one word and no mistakes and no other words, and why do we have 100 different versions? Why did the word homosexual never appear in the Bible before the 1940s?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny that the Bible is the only book in the world that's been reproduced 1 billion fucking times.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
Well, I got somebody who she wanted to comment, and last night where she had a few things, and if you don't mind, she's going to come on live just to pick.
I don't mind at all. Absolutely.
I don't know. You might even know her, Liz Ramos.
Hi, Liz. I'm not sure if we've met before.
No, I don't think we have. Good evening.
Hello, Liz.
Can you see me okay?
Oh, yeah.
No, I've totally missed this whole live so far, so I don't want to waste anybody's time by, you know, giving me any kind of cliff notes or anything. But no, I was on live last night with Manny, and he was showing me the Mike Pineapple clip and then your clip, and I'm just like, wow. And then, but I have taken about 30 seconds to listen to what you're just talking about now, and possibly what you've been talking about this whole entire live, and I'm kind of confused.
Well, and that's understandable. I completely understand. Are you
confused because I don't know why you're taking time out of your life to deal with these issues in Brownsville. I guess that's where I'm coming from, because I have family in Brownsville. And I'll probably end up going there and retiring. So I want Brownsville to be the best Brownsville can be when I get there.
Yes.
And I honestly don't see it when there's bickering going on amongst the council and other Brownsville entities and the public about things that do not pertain to the betterment of Brownsville. Did that go over everybody's head?
No, it didn't go over my head. I don't know if I agree that the statement is accurate, because this is something that citizens are bringing up to the commission. So this is some concern that citizens have. That's why it's a topic.
Okay, so what's the concern? The concern is inclusion. The concern is painting sidewalks. The concern is religions getting involved in this whole back and forth stuff that we're seeing online, right?
No, the concern was, as stated by her, not that night, but even recapped this week, is that and this is a lie that's being told, that there is an organization that has an agenda to get queer culture, including drag performances, into the schools, and they've set their sights on Brownsville, and they are at the head of everything that's been transpiring this month with Pride Month in Brownsville, from the flag raising to the proclamation to First Friday being Pride themed and all of that. And that is a 100% lie. But that riled up community members and got them to come out for public comment to the city commission because they saw this video and they believed it.
Okay, well, the school should have nothing to do with the city pertaining to what's being taught inside of a school district.
Agreed.
So I don't know why that topic's even being brought up. because they're two different entities. And I'm pretty sure I am not the only person who thinks the same way, but I would hope that council persons and the new mayor involved will spend more of their energy and time and focus on other things than this.
I would love to, and that's why 99% of my time is spent on other things, not this.
All right, I don't know if the Brownsville community is getting that.
The majority of the community is.
I mean,
The majority of the community is getting their news and their information from a certain someone in Brownsville, and that certain someone's been
that's not
80s accurate since day one.
And that's the same individual who runs for office all the time?
I won't go there, but yeah, that's where you get the news, because the Brownsville Herald ain't the place to get it.
Yeah, but if the majority of the community were getting their news from there, that person would be in office. The fact that they can't get elected, despite them being the single greatest source of news for the majority of the public.
So you just admitted that he is the single greatest source of news for Brownsville. That's my whole point. That's where we get our information.
No, because I'm saying
But
if he were,
I'm
saying if he were, he would be in office. And that's
so
why.
So where do you get?
Because he's not the single source for the majority of the people in Brownsville.
No, I never said he was the single source. I said he's the major source. Let's rewind that one. The majority of the information
was the majority
is from him.
But you said that in response to my comment that the majority of the public is getting it. The majority of the public does know that the bulk of my time is spent on things that are way more important.
Yes, a lot of the time spent on a lot of these things it's too much time spent on it. The conversation early was whether or not he was giving the FU to the entire Christian community. Yeah. And what she was talking about was this group where I think she was talking about the STEP group.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not that was that their agenda, that they really want to indoctrinate young people or whatever you want to call it. And that's what he came on to say. No, none of that is true, and they're not working with STEP, and they're not buddy with STEP, although some of the people, I mean, there are some names that have been dropped. Can't think of the kid's name. One of them is a model.
That's Nolan Navarro.
Is it Nolan?
He goes by Fish. But yeah, okay, it's Nolan Navarro. He's a model.
He's the one who had a connection with that company who did the Bam. What's that company with the
Balenciaga,
right?
Yeah. He has modeled for different designers around the world, for different fashions lines. And you look at most top models or most models who modeled extensively, most of the time you're going to find that they've done models for different shows, for different designers in different cities around the world. It's not
or pretty much every designer.
Exactly. It's their models. It's a gig. They get hired to do a modeling show, and that's what they do. Now,
if you're lucky enough to get a gig like Heidi Klum, where you're strictly their model for Victoria's Secret, because she was like, they actually labeled a bra after her called the Body. So, I mean, if you're lucky enough to get a gig like that, you're set for life.
Yep.
Yeah, and perhaps it was that because he is from Brownsville, from what I understand, and perhaps that's where people made that connection with Balenciaga and then him and Step and
but think about it this way, Manny. Let's say the Brownsville airport does something tomorrow that's absolutely heinous, and everybody's like, "Well, Manny Fossey works for the Brownsville airport, so there's part of the problem." And that's what we're talking about here is Balenciaga's campaign that people were offended by had nothing to do with Fish Navarro. But again, let's connect the dots so we can make him the face that we all hate. That's what's going on.
So he addressed, I don't know, Liz, he also addressed he basically addressed the video, and there is a longer video for some reason.
I don't think there is a longer video. I think people are lying that they have the longer video. Because if they had the longer video, they'd release it. Well, if they have the longer video, one, they'd release it by now. If it was true that I was directing that to the Christian community. So either they're lying about having it, or if they do have it, then they know that it would exonerate me because that's not what I was saying, and it would have the whole speech on there. But I think they're lying about having it.
Well, if they do have it, I wish they would come out with it already. I don't know what the issue it is.
So you weren't just addressing the lady that spoke in public participation and open session. That was to a greater audience.
Yes, because that woman, her name is Ninfa. She's a regular at my family get-togethers. As far as I knew, she was related to me up until 2 weeks ago when the family just corrected that she's been lifelong friends since childhood with a lot of my relatives, and that's why she and her husband are considered part of the family and are at our get-togethers. It was not directed at her.
It's just the way the videos came out.
Yeah, because
So who was the FU directed to?
It was directed to the people who were making those videos that got Ninfa to come out and who are creating the narrative that the events that we're having in Brownsville this month are controlled by STEP. That's a lie. And or that the things that we're doing for the community are about pushing pedophiles to groom children. That's who my comments were directed to.
So, and that's what he says, that he was not directing it at her specifically, nor to the religious or Christian community. Yeah. And I don't know. I think my thing, and I again, we talked about this already. My thing was just cursing, just you're a commissioner, and I don't think that was a good thing.
No, and I agree 100%, and that's why I have apologized for that, because there's better ways to address these topics.
All right. Anybody else have any other? Liz, you got anything else? Otherwise, I need to wrap this up.
No, I mean, just an explanation of the video, because that and the whatever Manny had read from what you posted online is just, if you were just anybody Joe Schmo, there's no way that I would understand what in the world you were talking about. And to me, it read as a political sidestep into just not just saying this is what happened and this is what happened. Instead, it was fluffy and around and in and out and under and over a rug. It just didn't explain truly what happened. Which I guess what you've done tonight.
I'm sorry, say that last part.
Your statement online was...
No, I got all of that. I'm saying just that last thing that you said.
Understandable, but you're explaining it right now, what truly happened. I just don't understand why that couldn't have been done in the first place.
I think I did it in the best way it could have been done. Because the problem is too many people just want to say, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And the problem is you can't say that when the lie being told is that I was saying that to the Christian community. Because if I just come out and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, then it's going to be like, see, he admitted it. He said F you to the Christian community, and now he's apologizing. And that's not what's going on. It can't be said. I can't say I'm sorry without explaining the situation, because too many people are ready to twist the apology even. And let me lay that out for you.
That was so gray. You could have taken that in any kind of direction of what you wrote online. What I'm trying to say is, if I was just no one, not knowing what happened, whatever you wrote online makes absolutely no sense. You have to be able to speak to your constituents, especially those that may not be fully educated on what's going on, so that they better understand. That way, you could have avoided the 117 comments posted after your post.
Well, write it in a way that people hadn't seen the video yet?
Correct.
Okay.
An explanation about what had happened. It's kind of like writing a paper. You have a subject line, then you state your facts, and you put the body in there, and then you have a conclusion. It avoided all of that, to be honest with you. And then everybody's like, what in the world's going on? And those that did see that are the 117 people that commented, which could have been avoided if you just pretty much went straight to the gusto with it.
That's a
So,
good
like she said, maybe you fluffed it up too much where it seems
big time.
like...
I
I understand.
have no idea what you're saying.
I was writing it. I was responding to the people who've seen the video and are reaching out because I had a lot of citizens reach out to me directly. But I didn't think
Okay.
about it in that context of folks who might not know what's going on when they saw it, adding the background. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It read like a politician sidestepping what really truly happened, and
I totally get it.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, from that
That
perspective,
could have avoided a lot of confusion.
I agree with you 100%.
Kind of like in healthcare, I can't come up to you and say that you got idiopathic intracranial hypertension.
Right.
You got to talk to people like there's stuff going on in your brain. You got to talk that in layman's terms to some of these people. Otherwise, you make everything even more confusing.
You're absolutely right. I agree with that.
And then you got some people who are, if you don't say enough, that's a problem. And then if you say too much, and that's a problem too. It's like you're not going to make everybody happy with.
Well, you're never going to appease everybody, but But my point was, I read that and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and I think what Liz is saying, you're right, Manny. Not everybody's going to ever be happy, but what Liz is saying, that would have been a better approach. Absolutely would have been. And I thought about it from that perspective. I would have taken that.
Well, she's available.
And it also shows ownership. It also shows ownership. Like, I'm owning it.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what happened. This is what they're saying. This is what I'm saying. And then you guys as constituents can make your own educated choice. But it's hard for constituents to make educated choices when you're not speaking to their level.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that everybody's stupid. I'm just saying not everybody is versed in, how a city is run and what goes on behind the scenes, and can understand that area of subject.
So somebody was asking, what was it? And I don't think we got to this. What was it you were saying right before the video started? It just started up at the, those people, I think it was, that say this, that do this, or that do that. But you were already mid-sentence when that whole started. Do you remember what you were saying?
Yeah, it was just like the example I gave you earlier. I literally started with, I've got a message for. And it was, I've got a message for the people that are creating this narrative and putting out these videos and telling these lies about what's going on in an attempt to get people to come out and give their comments and read scriptures and their hallelujahs and everything else. That's what I was talking about. Just like the example I gave Manny before you came on, Liz, was, and I get flack from the left and I get flack from the right. In May, I was very involved in law enforcement appreciation. And I got flack from the gay community who feel that police or law enforcement are still the enemy of the gay community. And I disagree with that. And I know Manny would get flack for not being tougher on me because people see him as a conservative podcaster and they think I'm a progressive and that he should be tougher on me. And so I gave him the example tonight. If I were to come on and talk to people and say, you know what, I'm hearing a lot of flack about my association with Manny. So for all you people who have a problem with my association with Manny Fossil, Manny Behind the Mic, Bam, and this show, F you. Well, if you take out, I have a message for all the people that, and just start with Manny Fossil, Manny Behind the Mic, Bam, and this show, F you. It sounds like I'm saying it to Manny, Bam, and the show. Manny, Bam, and the show, excuse me. But no, this was about the people who, and those guys aren't even from Brownsville. They've been doing this all in the Upper Valley, but now they're coming to our events with their body cams, taking footage, editing videos to make it look like something worse is going on, and telling a tale that's a lie. And they're posting it online and telling people, come to the city commission meeting and make your comments on June 20th. That's how those public comments came to the commission, because of that video that went out and the lies they told on it.
You have Antifa down there.
Could be. Who knows?
Great. All right, everyone. I do got to wrap it up. I got an early morning tomorrow. Liz, thanks for coming on, putting in your.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Nice
Liz,
to meet you
see you
too.
again.
Hey, you too, man. I hope everything's been going good downstairs.
It's been going all right.
All right, Liz. Thank you so much. Everybody, thanks. Roy, appreciate you coming on. You know that you've always come on and you've always been pretty much an open book as much as possible. Whether people are going to believe what you say or support you or they still have questions.
I think most people who know me know that I'm not going to lie. I stand behind anything I say every time I say it. And even if and there's plenty of people who I'd still say F you to. Probably do it one-on-one, not publicly, because citizens don't want to see their commissioners talking like that. But I'm going to keep standing up and speaking out against people spreading lies like that.
So see, and this is what's going around. It's going to keep. This is what's. I mean, because it just looked like it. That's.
I'm sure it absolutely looked like that, but that's absolutely not what it was. But the people who automatically want to believe that yes, this is about grooming children and this is about going after children. There's nothing I could say that would convince them otherwise. There just isn't.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say: common sense isn't so common anymore.
Amen to that.
Yep. No, but thanks. I know it was short notice. We just chatted, messaged each other since last night, and I know for Friday night, I'm glad you could make it. I figured you were surely busy on a Friday night.
Yeah, no, it's been a busy week. I had a busy day, so it was good to come home and chill for a bit. I'm going to try not to go out tonight because I've got a busy weekend also, both family and city events.
All right, perfect. Well, again, thank you for giving us your time and for being open and not, shying away from anything, which is what we're used to when we talk.
Yes.
And again, whether people believe you or not, or believe what they hear, that's a whole other story. And some will just have their mind made up no matter what, regardless of what happened. Mm-hmm. So Roy was here. He spoke, and you take that how you want to take it. But I do appreciate you for coming on and talking to us for a little bit.
Of course.
Always much appreciated. Roy, have a good night.
Likewise, guys.
Still appreciate you. Thank you.
Have a good one, Roy.
All right. And that leaves me and Bam. What do you got going on tomorrow, man?
Well, it's Saturday. I'm not going to do much of anything. I'm going to sit on my fat ass. Sunday, I'm going to smoke some pig ass and make some party beans.
Smoke some pig ass.
Yeah, I'm going to smoke some pig ass and make some party beans so I can have some well, that's my birthday meal to myself. I'd rather have a steak, but I can't afford steak, and pork shoulder is extremely cheap. So you throw that in the smoker and make some party beans. And then Monday I have a run I got to do Monday night. It was just thrown at me today. Boss said, "Hey, you want to do a run on Monday?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And if I would have found out it was 6:30 at night, I would have said no.
Oh, yeah.
Because I gotta work from 6:30 at night until midnight. So it's like, oh fuck me. But hey, it's money, and I need the money. So
any overtime with that?
Well, see, I don't get paid. Well, when I do extra runs, I get paid by the hour. But since I'm paid by the day at work, there's no. I can't qualify for overtime.
Oh, okay, I see.
So if my run happens to be under 50 miles, then it's only $15.50 an hour. But if I'm over 50 miles, then it's $16.50 an hour.
So,
and this one's going to be borderline, so I might have to get lost or drive around the city a couple of times to get it up over that 50-mile mark.
There you go. Kay, you must have not been here. Were you not here?
Kay came in late. I think she came in like 40 minutes late, 45 minutes late. She was a little late to the party tonight.
Well, Bam was definitely not quiet, and that's not an understatement. You may want to go back.
I was on fire.
The first 40 minutes or so. We were having quite the discussion.
Yeah, as the Southerners put it, Bam was on fire.
Bam was on fire. That's one way to put it, all right?
No, Nadia, I am not.
So, anyway, yeah, I got to wrap it up, and then maybe we'll come back tomorrow for something else.
And you really got to watch those, like money loaning apps things, because next thing you know, you're getting your whole paycheck loaned to you, and then come payday, you have no money. So you really got to watch that mess. It's kind of like that check writing situation. They'll cash a check and hold it for until payday. They'll give you like $100, but you got to write them a $170 check. Got to watch those situations. Thank God they're against the law in a lot of states now.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us and hearing from Roy Dos Santos on this issue we had here in Brownsville.
Even though we agree to disagree sometimes.
Do you believe him? Do you, I don't know, Bambi, I know you're not from here, but you know what's been going on.
I think after reading his statement and seeing the video, well, I seen the video, and then I read the statement, and then you finished reading the statement to me. The statement really kind of did sidestep the situation a little bit. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but then after hearing him talk about it, it did make a lot more sense, and I can see exactly where he's coming from. And it's just like this whole it's really any situation. You have there's a situation like on a bus or something. There's a fight or whatever, and everybody's like, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I got a video of this. Okay, well they missed the first 3 minutes of it, which is the key information to the fight, and then all these videos are being posted about the end of it, and go, oh well, that's just not right. You need to prosecute, arrest him, throw his ass in jail. Okay, well, you have no clue what happened in the fight. You just caught the fucking end of it.
Yeah.
Just like this whole thing with this Marine in New York in the subway. Okay, nobody got the beginning of the whole situation where he's screaming on, I'm going to kill all you people and I'm going to die today. Okay, I'd be afraid for my fucking life too. I probably would have pulled my gun out on him and said, sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up until some goddamn cops get here, and if you move, I'll shoot your ass.
And I think what Liz said was right. I think there was too much other stuff in that long statement he made. Could have done more with less. Maybe, like she said, you get to the point. This is what happened. This is what I said, and this is what I mean, and that's it. I think, like I said, you're never going to make anybody happy. The apology is not going to be. It means something different for everybody.
Well, and I completely understand his point of view. Why apologize for something I didn't do? Why the hell am I going to say, yep, sorry. Okay, yeah, I didn't say that. It's not what I meant. So why the hell should I apologize for it? Just like the whole, you're got the pedophiles grooming little kids. No. I don't believe that at all. So then everybody's opinion is, oh, well, you're not apologizing, so you are doing it. No, why should I stoop to something so ridiculous and have to address something that's not fucking true? I'm right there with him on that.
And I get it. Sometimes, some things, there are some issues you just need to not address at all, but then others you have to, and some you have to, but you got to be careful how you address them. You got to be,
and then when you do address the ones that you have to be careful with, is it the typical politician stuff? Maybe, probably, possibly.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Just because you're a politician, the fact that you're a politician, now people are going to take whatever you say a certain way.
Exactly,
and that's human nature. So. All right, I'm going to cut it off right there. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you so much.
It's 9:30.
Yeah, it's past my bedtime. And I believe yours too, usually.
Yeah, I should be in the recliner snoozing. I've seen Chuck in here. He made a couple of comments that he always disagrees with us, but he's in here because he loves us. Chuck, you just like disagreeing with me. That's what it is.
Yeah, it must be it.
That's what it is. Chuck loves.
We'll get to that next week. We got political season is coming up already, and
it is. And then the big question is, the current president Is he going to be able to withstand another 4 years? Or is he still a bumbling idiot that walks around and shakes hands with dead people that nobody else can see? We've all seen him do it.
Yes and yes. Yes and yes. All right, I got to cut it off. Bam, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hasta luego.
Everyone, thank you so much. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. And we'll try to be back on tomorrow. You think you can make it tomorrow? We can do something tomorrow night.
Yeah, we can do something tomorrow night.
All right.
Definitely Monday night for a birthday show.
Birthday show. There we go. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, we can't do it Monday night. I'm working Monday night. What the hell? We'll have to do it Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Till
July.
midnight.
Have to do it the 4th of July.
We'll do a 4th of July show.
But people will be out watching fireworks, so we can't do that either.
Yep. Yeah. All right. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Look, there's some more of that gay shit for you. Figure it out.
Okay,
Figure it out.
That's good.
There's your pink and purple poop. Gay shit.
Pink and purple poop. With
Sprinkles
sprinkled
on top.
glitter on there. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Long live the